So I'm going to show you something today that most heat pump installers will never show you. People ring me almost every day and say the same thing. I'm not going to pay for a quote, but they're not actually paying for a quote. What you're paying for is everything that has to happen before it, so I can actually give you the quote. So in this video, I'm just going to run through one of my actual heat loss reports and show you what goes into it, explain why reputable installers charge for the surveys, and I'll also tell you why charging for surveys, it actually helps me out find the customers that I enjoy working with. And then I think by the end of the video, you'll see it very differently. I completely understand where people are coming from with it. If you're having your kitchen painted or you're getting a new boiler, you're used to someone just popping around, having a look around, and then they'll give you a price straight away. So naturally, you're going to assume that it's the same process with a heat pump, but it's a bit different with a heat pump, and a proper heat pump quotation starts with a proper design. So a good comparison is if you were building an extension, would you expect the architect to do that full design for free, or expect the structural engineer to calculate the steel work before you'd even agree to use them? Or, you know, if you needed work done at the dentist, would you just go in and walk in and expect that done, or would they spend time do a diagnosis on that? You probably wouldn't expect to do any of them things. So you're paying for the professional knowledge, and the design comes first, and then the quote comes afterwards. So yeah, let's have a run through one of these reports. Okay, so here's just the summary of this in particular project. It was 208 meters squared. We can see the total heat loss once the survey was complete was 6.08 kilowatts. So now we're able to size the heat pump, and we can see we're using a Valent Aerotherm plus 7 kilowatt heat pump. We can see the efficiencies that it's going to run at this design. Chose a hot water cylinder. There's going to be 5 radiator upgrades on this property, and 148 meters squared of new underfloor heating. You can see things like your annual CO2 savings and your estimated savings based off of your current heat source, whether that be gas, oil. I think this in particular customer was gas. And we've just got a general introduction, kind of giving you a brief of what this report entails and what's involved in it. And so you've got a bit of an understanding of what you're running through. These were the design conditions, so we have to use these design conditions to come up with our figures. So we've got outside temperatures, indoor temperatures, ground temperatures, and then we can see where the heat loss is in the property, and we can see on this one there's a lot of ventilation losses is where a lot of the heat loss is going, and that's the same on a lot of properties. And then after that, we've got the external walls and the windows. So you can also look at places where you can improve your say insulation or your air tightness in the property. So this report is actually really useful, because then you can take this information and use it for other things within the property. You know, you can potentially look at, I've got quite a lot of heat loss from this area in my property. I can improve that by adding insulation here. We've got information on the ground floor. We've got a full floor plan there because we've done a LiDAR scan on the full property. We've got the first floor information, heat loss of that in particular floor, and we've got, again, a full floor plan of the area. And then we go into the system design, and this one in particular, 35-degree design floor temperature. We can see the output, what it's able to achieve at that design conditions. Got the make and the model, and then some more information on the efficiencies at different outputs and the scops, the heat pump location, and we've got the emitters. How many radiators are being changed, or emitters, underfloor heating, what's the design criteria for them emitters. We'll look at your hot water, what cylinder are we using, what's going to be the performance of this hot water, what's the estimated annual energy consumption, how many kilowatt hours is it going to use, how many per person, per day, what's the reheat times going to be on that hot water cylinder based off of the heat pump we're using. We've done a noise assessment on that property, so there's the results of the noise assessment. As we can see, this heat pump passed on the sound assessment on this one. Give you your performance estimate. So you can look at your estimated annual savings, your carbon reductions. So these are all things what can't be guessed. You know, if I get something wrong on this survey, then the system could end up oversized or undersized or run inefficiently or just simply not perform as it should. So we're not just charging to come round and take a look for 10 minutes and give you a quote. You know, we're charging for the survey, the travel, the measuring, the modelling, the calculations, the design work afterwards, producing the report, checking everything, preparing the quote. So there's a lot of work what actually goes into this before we're even able to get to the point where we can give you a quote. And that's why we'll give you an estimate initially. And then if you're okay with that estimate, then that's why we then charge for this survey. So I had someone ring me the other day, nice enough guy, but he wanted a quote for an heat pump, and so I asked him a few questions, found a bit more out about the project, and then I was able to give him an estimate over the phone, and then he explained the process that we have to take to be able to get to the quoting stage. We've got to complete that initial survey, and that is chargeable with the work involved. I explained the full process to him in a bit more detail, and his response was, "I don't want to pay for a quote." So I explained again. I said, "You're not paying for a quote. What you're paying for is the process that we take to get to the quoting stage. You know, the initial survey, the time on site, and completing a heat loss of the property, sizing the emitters." And then he actually agreed and said, "Yeah, it does make sense. I just don't want to pay for it." And that's completely his choice. For me, charging for the surveys as well actually helps me make sure that I'm spending my time with people who genuinely value a proper design process. And it doesn't mean someone's a bad customer if they decide not to go ahead. It just means we're probably not the right fit for each other. A professionally designed heat pump system, it's built on trust, and if someone isn't comfortable investing at the design stage, then it's very unlikely that they're going to be happy with the rest of the process either. So I'd much rather spend my time producing excellent work for customers who see the value in getting the design right from day one. So next time an engineer says they're going to charge for a survey, just ask yourself, would you rather someone come and spend several hours designing your system properly, or would you rather someone just come in for 15 minutes and walk around and throw something together and give you some prices? So for me, the design is one of the most important parts of the entire process with the installation, because once that's right, then everything else we know is going to be correct. If you've ever been asked to pay for a survey, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are before and after watching this video. Would you pay for a professional heat pump design, or do you still think quotes should be free? I'd genuinely be interested to hear from both sides of the argument. And if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe it, because I've got plenty more videos coming where I'll be showing exactly how heat pumps are designed and installed properly.